WrestleMania is going Hollywood next year for the first time since 2005. It was made official this week that WrestleMania 37 will take place at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California, just outside of Los Angeles, Sunday, March 28th, 2021. The first late March WrestleMania in 5 years since the last California show, WrestleMania 31. I assume this is to avoid Easter Sunday, which falls on the first Sunday in April next year. Although now WrestleMania will fall on the second night of Passover. So no Goldberg, I assume. The Super Bowl will be at SoFi Stadium the following year in 2022, so I'm sure they're going to announce this gigantic attendance number, maybe their biggest number ever for WrestleMania next year. When I hear WrestleMania goes Hollywood, like a lot of you, I think of the movie trailer parodies and the vignettes they did heading into WrestleMania 21, which is some of the best promotion I think they've ever done for a WrestleMania show. I love those skits. I love those parodies. Obviously, they all stand out to me. Even the When Harry Met Sally one with Christy Hemme and Kurt Angle, I mean, that was entertaining enough. Maybe my least favorite of the bunch. But I think they did a Pulp Fiction one with Eddie Guerrero, and they had the Dirty Harry Undertaker one. The best one may have been the Basic Instinct one with Stacy Keibler. And it's a shame because they're never going to show this to us ever again. But it had Jericho, Benoit, and Christian. There might have been was there a fourth person? It was Jericho, Christian, Benoit. I don't remember if there was a fourth guy in there, but, you know, Stacy was in the hot seat playing the role of, oh my goodness, her name just popped out of my head. I was going to say Kim Basinger, but Sharon Stone, not Kim Basinger. That's Batman. Sharon Stone. I love that skit. I love it. I was actually on YouTube. I don't even know how I stumbled across it a few months ago, before this announcement was even made. And I was watching it, and I realized how funny it was. That might be my favorite of all the ones that they did. The Undertaker Dirty Harry one was pretty good. There were a couple of others. I'm not remembering them offhand right now, but those were awesome. And so I hope we get a kind of a new age version now with the current talent roster, a new spin on that. That would be cool. Hey, if they're gonna do it, I pitch an idea right now. I know I've been big on R-Truth all of a sudden this whole show, but you got to do something with Brock Lesnar and R-Truth. I know Brock Lesnar does not usually do segments like this, but you got to make an exception. You got to make an exception. You got to do something with Truth and Brock, like a takeoff of like a buddy cop movie or something with the two of them. You got to do it. Got to do it. Oh my goodness. So Roman Reigns was talking to ESPN and pushing the idea of a match with The Rock next year. The Rock is going to be 48 years old next year. He's still gigantic, obviously. He still keeps himself in great shape, but he's going to be 48 years old. He's not getting any younger. And I guess that doesn't really matter all that much when you've got 51-year-old PCO as the Ring of Honor champion. You've got the Rock and Roll Express on television every week, still wrestling. But The Rock has not had a match since his 6-second win over Eric Rowan at WrestleMania 32. Hasn't had a real match since he dropped the WWE title to John Cena at WrestleMania 29. And in that match, he tore a couple of different muscles. He suffered 3 hernias. From that one match, he had surgery, 3 different hernias he had. And that ended up delaying the filming of that Hercules movie that he was getting ready to shoot. He tore his hamstring in the middle of the first match he had in Miami against John Cena. Once in a lifetime, until it wasn't. And that was years ago. Those matches, at this point, we're talking 2012, 2013. It's a new decade now. He's a lot older now than he was even then. The point is, The Rock is the biggest movie star in the world right now. Gets paid like the biggest movie star in the world. He's constantly working and making movies. No studio in their right mind would let this man wrestle a match. They would be insane to do that. Plus, people forget, The Rock already quietly retired last year. Now, we know how these wrestling retirements go. And it sucks that his last match was against Eric Rowan. It just doesn't compute to me that is going to go down as of this moment as the final match of The Rock's career. It was a 6-second match against Eric Rowan. I wish they would have gotten the match done in 2016 that they had planned with Rock and Triple H. one of his greatest rivals. I think that would have been a far more appropriate way for him to end his career. It didn't happen. Due to his schedule, it didn't happen. I don't see the appeal, personally, in doing Rock against Roman the way that others do, not unless The Rock comes back and is Hollywood Rock. Look, they're going to be WrestleMania Goes Hollywood. If ever there was a time to resurrect Hollywood Rock, I know it's a long shot, but they could do it next year. If they will do Hollywood Rock, then I am all on board for Rock against Roman Reigns. That is the only situation you can get me on board to really care about Rock and Roman having a match. Roman said that it's a dream match for a lot of people. I'm not one of those people. Now, The Miz also posted on Instagram, and The Miz said, if I don't main event WrestleMania next year, I quit. Well, it was nice knowing you, Mike. You had a good career. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. Obviously, he's not going anywhere. And Miles on Twitter made a great point, which is that, and I didn't pick up on this right away, what it was just a little dig by The Miz at one CM Punk. After Punk had gone off on The Miz recently, completely overreacted to some playful banter by The Miz, and Punk just lost his mind and went off on him. And Punk quit the company for a lot of different reasons, but one of the things he always complained about was the fact that he never got to headline a WrestleMania. And so this was probably just the case of The Miz taking a little dig at CM Punk. Or at least I hope that's all it was. But some black magic would have to happen between now and then to convince me that The Miz should be back anywhere near the WrestleMania main event.